well. Henry, Zidane, Pires and Vieira to anchor it all in the midfield along with Makelele. And not to mention the man with the outstanding international scoring record, David Trezeguet, who wins his 50th cap tonight. 28 goals in his 49 so far. And here is that Brazilian side. Kaká, Ronaldinho, Juninho, Zé Roberto. Where does the creativity come from? And Cafu and Roberto Carlos down the flanks, all to supply Ronaldo. These are lineups really to dream of, and I know you as a coach and former coach, John, well, you'd love to have these players, wouldn't you?
Well, the magic of it is you can move them around all over, really. They've got so much ability, there's so much pace there, skill and pace, and really the big thing that these coaches are looking from Pereira and Santini is can they have tempo with their class, and if they go into too slow a build-up, it can be less effective. So whichever team raises the tempo, I think, soonest will take a grip of this game.
And of course, one of the most eagerly anticipated games of the year, and it's seconds away. The old kits really add to the ambience, and Kaká, who so often looks like a throwback to a golden age, a wonderful will-o'-the-wisp kind of player, he looks great in the kit. Now, what kind of game will we have served up? We've already had one fantastic spectacle, and now the centerpiece. I know you were surprised in some prospective lineups, John, to see Edmilson playing in midfield. Well, I think sense has been restored and he's playing at the center of three central defenders for Brazil.
And it does, it looks very much like that, though, that there is three of them there, but it's not the normal way that they play. But in this game, to get the personnel all feeling comfortable, Pereira's decided to do it.
Here's Roberto Carlos, his first touch of the game. A lot of these players still with plenty to play for this season for their clubs, Roberto Carlos being one. Real Madrid still trying to get an automatic Champions League place, and they're up against Ronaldinho's Barcelona for it. But a game against Real Sociedad, which they must win and hope that Barca don't. Deflected through, and a first grateful touch, richly cheered around the ground by Gregory Coupe. Fabian Barthez not involved after his involvement in the UEFA Cup final, a very sad one for him as well after being sent off for Marseille. Still the feeling that Barthez will start in the French goal in the Europe. Zidane brought to the ground by Juninho. Here's Henry. Tried to trick his way away from Juninho, who's made 2 tackles in the first 2 minutes, and I think that's as many as I've seen all season from him. He's earned his place in the national side, Juninho, with his sparkling performances for Lyon. Gallas up against Cafu tonight. What a test that is, particularly defensively for him. With Cafu and Roberto Carlos, attack is the best form of defense. It's the way they play the game. Now Henry. Ronaldinho. One back by Zinedine Zidane. Well read by Edmilson, but equally so by Jean-Alain Bumson. Ronaldinho's ball for Ronaldo. And Thuram, as ever, with a license to roam forward. Here's Bumson. He will be going to the European Championship, at the very least as a squad member. Chosen ahead of Philippe Mexes, his Auxerre teammate. Here's Gallas. He's going to have a shot. Goodness me. That was ambitious.
Well, I think just the early set-up, the Brazils are finding their feet on their system. They're actually asking Edmilson to drop in and play one of 3 centre-halves, but also to push in front and play in front of those two. So he's moving around in his position. It's a clever type of tactic that I've seen tried before, and he's just mixing it up a bit in there. And what that's done is really the orthodox French lineup have landed on the ball a bit better.
Now Cafu, interesting there just to see Paoletta in the crowd tonight. He may well watch his Paris Saint-Germain teammate Bernard Mendy make his international debut. He'll be looking to hurt France, though, in the European Championships for Portugal. Now Ed Milson.
It's one thing about Ed Milson, he can use the ball wherever he is, and that's a nice change of play from him.
And here goes Cafu, already testing Gallas. Well, he did that for Milan against Brescia in the final Serie A game at the weekend. And it resulted in a goal, which is, I'm sure, why he had the ambitious shot. Kaká has certainly been Milan's outstanding player this season, maybe even the best in the league. Not bad for his first season since moving from Sao Paulo.
I think there'd be a lot of room out there for Gallas to get on the ball, but it's maybe clever by Pereira because Gallas is not left-footed and he won't be able to gallop down there.
A game of niggly fouls so far. Two of them on the great hero Zidane, who you don't touch.
And maybe that's why Ed Milson's in there, in the block in the front. He can go at the back, and yet if Zidane's going to come to his favourite position, he's bound to run into Ed Milson.
There is Ed Milson again. Maybe Brazil are giving other teams a blueprint here to play against France, but it is early stages. Now Thuram. Oh, there was a lot of space there for Pires. Zidane. They want something special from him, but there isn't the space to do it at the moment, and Kaká can break. Oh, he tried to play the 1-2 with Ronaldo. Trezeguet to charge.
Good pace from Chris there. He just had that bit of edge on Trezeguet when he chased the through ball from Zidane.
Desai. Now Zé Roberto. Just muscled off it.
And that's the pass there that Ed Milson can always get on to playing in that position.
He's such a terrific passer of the ball and finds Cafu there.
And it's difficult to close him down because both Vieira and Makalele are sitter types, so there's always going to be that pass on, so the Brazilians can try things, and yet they've always got a safety valve.
Great ball from Ronaldo, and Zé Roberto can use it so well. Here's Cafu. Now Ronaldinho. The run is from Ronaldo, but he opted to wait, and this is Juninho. Champion of France for the third season in a row with Lyon. Playing against his club goalkeeper here in Gregory Coupet. Well, champion of France in all but name. They still technically have to negotiate a final game, but as long as they don't lose 8 or 9-0, they'll be okay. Kaká. Now Ronaldinho. That's Chris. Now the massive Louis out. Good header by Boumsong. Big game for him to be playing in. And he could stake a claim here for a place in the centre defence. It's not sure yet, the French centre defence. Zé Roberto. Now Roberto Carlos.
The possession is now with Brazil, with all that flooding of the midfield. Juninho in there, Kaká, Roberto, Ed Milson and Ronaldinho coming in there. A lot of short passing just to get somebody released, and it is giving them the bulk of the possession.
Oh, lovely ball from Juninho for Cafu! went for goal himself. He's been Brazil's most attacking player so far.
Well, they're getting all that possession in there, and it's allowing the fullbacks, Zuriberto and Cafu, and especially him, to burst down the wide. That's where their width's coming from. Gallas got drawn inside, Cafu's gone, now he's tried to catch Coupé there. Normally you'd go back post, he's trying to nick it in the near and catch Coupé sleeping, but he didn't quite catch it right.
Roberto Carlos. The French pressing well here. It's been a surprisingly adept tactical game so far, this one. Both sides are really here for the win. Just thought it might be more of an open exhibition match, but not at all. With the greatest of respect to Andorra and the Ukraine, this is France's biggest test before the European Championship. Before, on the 13th of June, they play England. Now Roberto Carlos. There's only Ronaldinho in the centre, but here's Ronaldo now. Oh, Ronaldo blasts it wide. That's what they came to see.
And it's the same on this side. The extra man in midfield's drawn Perez. He's talking to Thuram, drawn him inside. Zuriberto's on, feeds Ronaldo. I thought he had to hit it with his right there. He's over-elaborated. He still has half a chance, but it slices wide. But it's that build-up, 3 or 4 players central midfield. Out it goes to Zuriberto or Cafu.
Thuram. Now Patrick Vieira. He hasn't been able to make any runs forward yet. Busy holding the midfield. Perez. A lovely movement from Perez. Henry was onside. And that was late. Senor Huto Gonzalez does have a reputation as being a disciplinarian, so Henry's maybe lucky not to get booked there.
Oh, it's definitely a foul by Henry. I don't know why he's moaning at that. He's lost possession himself. It's good recovery, but then he's caught him.
Now, we know there's a great atmosphere between these teams. There are a lot of teammates out there, but the old saying in football about there's no such thing as a friendly. So far we've seen it. They both want to win desperately here.
Absolutely. There's so much rivalry there. They want to come off the pitch saying, well, we had the upper hand there.
Well, definitely with, I suppose, dressing rooms, they'll be arguing Brazil are better. And even if France win the European Championship this year, they'll be saying, oh yeah, but we beat you. Kaká. Lovely ball from Kaká for his teammate Cafu. What a threat Cafu is down that right-hand side.
Well, the tactical balance is with the Brazilians, there's no doubt about that.
Here though goes Zidane, he was just tugged back. Referee tried to play the advantage, but was pretty clever.
There's the Zidane step over and Zuriberto blocking him. But even if that hadn't happened, Edmilson was in the spot to handle the next phase. So you just might be right, this might be the blueprint to handle France.
I'll remind you of that later when it's finished 4-0 to France, but it's working so far for Brazil.
Well, you can't do much more than deprive them of possession, get a lot yourself and get a bit of width as well, and if that's the way the game goes, goals can happen, but it looks like Pereira's been a bit clever in the way he set his team up.
I suppose the huge question mark over this as a blueprint for the European Championship would be, is there a team in that who's got enough to do this against France?
Well, that's right, you can set and draw it on bits of paper, but when you get out on the pitch, it's down to the talent and abilities of the players.
It's played on grass, as they say. Boumsong. Now Thuram. Perez tried to lay it off for Vieira, who's done ever so well to get there. No foul from Edmilson, though. Juninho. Still got Cafu motoring along outside him. Juninho flicks it in towards Ronaldo, but Coupé did so well.
There's a 2v1 right. If he played Cafu in, I think he had the run on Gallas there. Chose the cross. Coupé read it.
33 years old, Cafu. It's absolutely frightening. It's Roberto Carlos, or rather Chris, and then Roberto Carlos on Henry. It was a pretty fearsome challenge.
Yeah. Nobody wants to lose out in any part of the pitch. And as Roberto got his foot in there on Henry.
Zidane. Again shadowed by Juninho and Edmilson. Now Perez. Here's Lilian Thuram. Zidane. Perez made a clever run inside him, but it was blocked by Chris. Roberto Carlos for Edmilson. Upended by Vieira.
And that was great play there in their own defensive quarter, and it looked like they were showing off, but in actual fact, Zinedine Zidane really got caught there. He was closing down and he just got the ball flicked past him.
Often wonder when you look at Ronaldo, and sometimes he doesn't look as mobile as he ought to, whether he should just look over to his captain and right back and take a lesson off him in terms of footballing longevity. Have you ever seen a player as mobile as Cafu at 33?
Unbelievable. Okay, so he's protected a little bit by tucking in. He just bombs up and down out there, and there he is on again.
Ronaldinho. Oh, he's just offside, Cafu. I think he gets further forward the older he gets.
It's looking like that, isn't it? Perez was all at sea there. He didn't play him offside. It was good play, Boumsong and Desailly that caught him. But this little setup really has deprived Zidane, Perez, Makalele, Vieira any possession at all.
Perez on his own, blocked by Zé Roberto. Ronaldinho. Here's Juninho. Worked very hard for his side so far tonight. When you've got so many skillful, creative players, one of them has to sacrifice a bit and drop deep, and it's been him. Here he is again, Juninho. And here Pereira barking out instructions. Oh, it's Edmilson for Roberto Carlos. And Edmilson, having played the fancy ball, couldn't play the easy one.
Yeah, he got caught. He was getting a bit confident himself in midfield and gave the ball away very simply.
Oh, he just got brushed off it there, Luizao. Now Trezeguet. No foul, according to the referee. The whistles around the Stade de France. Juninho. Referee got in the way, and Ronaldinho wasn't happy with that. Now Henry. Great tackle.
Very quick tackle there by Chris. Henry just let it go a foot away from him. Normally he can catch these and use his pace to get past, but that time Chris was up to it.
Not even Roberto Carlos was quick enough to get there. That's the challenge Trezeguet thought was a foul. Well, you can see his point.
Yeah, I think unlucky not to get a free kick there. It was watching the ball by Chris, but definitely bumped into Trezeguet and tried to move him out of position.
Perez bombing on is Gallas to try and test out Cafu defensively. Zidane. Now Gallas, can he get the cross right? He nearly did. Well blocked by Luizao.
Yeah, that's the weakness of the French team. Gallas getting into advanced positions because he hasn't got a lot to do defensively, coming up and support. And although he's game and he's tried it, he hasn't got the natural left foot of, say, Lizarazu.
That was the point, isn't it? They suddenly have Lizarazu to bring in. The Bayern Munich players for France, Lizarazu and Sagnol not taking part tonight. Nor, of course, the ones from Monaco, the likes of Julie, Schilacci, Roten, all were named in this squad, although it's Julie and Roten in the squad for Euro 2004. What an achievement that's been by Monaco to reach the Champions League final. Henry, now Zidane. Oh, great play, Juninho. And then he's got in with 2 feet. I think it was eagerness to get the ball.
Great tackle on Zidane, which you wouldn't fancy Jorginho doing, but the second one was a foul. But you've got to, got to praise him for the timing of his tackle here on Zidane. I think that Zidane got the shock of his life.
I'm not sure what's happened to Jorginho tonight. He's a man inspired. Nearly 20 minutes played and they have flown by. Zidane, still a warm evening, that's why the shirt is soaked in sweat. I think a heavier shirt than they're used to playing in as well. Whipped in with power. Header away by Kaká. And then Ronaldinho and Desailly just clattering into each other.
It was a foul, but Ronaldinho had let it go, and he was fortunate to get the free kick.
Look of shock in the face of Jacques Centenary. Sometimes I think he wonders about the talent he has. It's like being a child in a sweet shop when you're the coach of the French national side, and probably similar with Brazil. These are probably the 2 most gifted football teams in the world. Ed Nielsen. Remember, he's a central defender who can pass like that. Juninho. Now Kaká slows down very, very quickly. They know about him. Well, he's done well to wriggle away from Makelele.
Good strong play there. He's not just a skillful, pretty passer. He had to shrug them all off to keep possession.
Of course, you'll know Trezeguet well from Milan against Juve games. Ditto Thuram. Ronaldinho, great ball. And he might just get there, Ronaldinho. Coupe had to come very, very quickly.
It's one of these awkward balls through. It was never going to run to the keeper too quickly, and although the defender was there first, it did cause a little bit of a indecision between Coupe and Boumsong.
Pires. Peggy Loyindula just warming up in front of us, being told to go and warm up somewhere else by the assistant referee. Vieira. Now Pires might just think about hitting one here. Roberto anticipated that so well. Now Kaká has a bit of space. So does Ronaldinho. So does Ronaldo, who's onside. It's Ronaldo! Good save by Coupe, but danger is still there. Ronaldinho surrounded by players and doesn't win the free kick he wanted.
Best effort of the match there, and it was Kaká that played Ronaldo in, and he just did pull the trigger. He didn't look the sharpest, but oh, did he ping it? It was probably the wrong height, about waist height for Coupe, but he got great power without much back left.
Makelele for France, still 0-0. European champions against world champions. In from Zidane to Thierry Henry. Great touches! First and second were perfect, and the third was over the bar.
And you don't expect that from the maestro. What a ball there, over the back of Chris. Brought it down inside him, and he just needed to guide it into the far post. It was his left foot, which is not his strongest, but he is improved on it, and he did get underneath it and just gave it too much. But what class to get there. Finally, has got to hit the target. Head up and looking for it before he'd actually played it. Opposite at the other end. Head down and a good contact from Ronaldo.
I think you can forgive Henry. Zidane. Henry at pace again. Trezeguet's in the centre. Oh, he tried the little drag into the net. It was all he could do. The ball was behind him, and what a terrific goal that nearly was. The game is lighting up now.
Well, we said how tactically the Ed Milson position's coming into play, but suddenly they're opened up twice in a row by the ball through the defence, and it is cut across by Henry just behind Trezeguet, but he did get a great flick at it. But there, the vulnerability of it in the end, if France can get the ball in the midfield area, it's 2v2 up front. And who wants to try and cope with Henry and Trezeguet 2v2?
Are France just starting to work out this Brazilian system? They have played since the World Cup final in the Confederations Cup in Suwon in 2001. France won 2-1. Pires and Desailly scored on that occasion. Here is Pires. Claude Makelele. Zidane. Pires just drifts away from Kaká. Oh. Outrageous attempt there from Zidane.
What he's done, he's drifted off that left side there, in behind and around Ed Milson. And it's that situation that's creating it. And if you're tactically going to leave Henry, as I've said, and Trezeguet with only two inexperienced centre-backs to deal with them, you would think it's a matter of time before that becomes crucial. But if Brazil can keep the ball away from them, that's fine, but they won't be able to do it all the time.
Vieira. Now Zidane. Little pirouette in the midfield. Makelele. Here's Thuram. Patrick Vieira. It's a spell of keep ball here from France. Here's Claude Makelele. Now Zidane. It's done just effortlessly. Here's Henry. Tries to prod it in for Pires.
Yeah, he's tried to swerve out with the outside of his right foot. He just spotted Pires coming in from wide right, but instead of getting any curl on it at all, he's hit it square and it's gone straight to the keeper.
Lovely drifting movement from Kaká. French have been very aware of him so far, Kaká. Every time he's got near the ball, two men around him.
Well, with Makelele and Vieira sitting in there isn't a great deal of space for Kaká and even Ronaldinho, but if they come right into midfield, they will get possession, but where will be the space to create?
It's nearly there then. Kaká just nicked it off Pires. And that was coming together. Say Roberto and Vieira.
He's been effective, Roberto. He can play wide left, but that tucked in position just inside seems to suit him just as much. And Roberto Carlos going out on the overlap behind him is outside him is effective.
Zidane. Now Pires. Closed down by Roberto Carlos. Again, we see that lack of space. Makelele. Gallas gave the ball away there. You're surprised to see that almost. The quality is so high in this game. Ah, Cafu wanted it played early from Kaká. The young man of Milan tells the old one to get back. He's 20 years of age. Mexican wave starts around the Stade de France. Another lovely ball for Roberto Carlos from Ed Mills.
It's amazing how the best players in the world can adapt even though a tactical situation's been thrown at them. I doubt very much whether Santini's done a lot with the situation that Ed Milson's posed them. But Henry and Trezeguet off their own back, nicking in there. Zinedine Zidane coming inside. Good players find space, they close down at the right time, and they know how to show to get on the ball, and then everything evens up again.
It's funny as well, there was a lot of talk about particularly the French players not wanting to get injured, players maybe only playing a certain part of the game, but given the kind of confrontation it's been so far, you get the impression the likes of Henry, Zidane, Trezeguet want to stay out there now and win this.
Yeah, you would say that Brazil, you started the sharpest, but more it was because of the tactical advantage. Now it's evened up and there's no foot off the pedal from people like Zidane so far.
And the crowd have added to that. Now Ronaldinho tries a couple of tricks, tried to pass it in. Ronaldo! Deflected wide for a corner. Great contact that time. That
was a finisher's attempt. That was. The ball came to him unexpected, and without thinking about it, his mindset told him he might as well hit this. It might not even have been going in, but it was hitting in the arm, but I wouldn't give a penalty for that one. It struck him, but it just shows the mindset is, come to me, I'm going to get it on target quick as I can.
Short corner from Ronaldinho. Now he can bend one in viciously. In fact, he's gone for Ed Milson at the far post. Heading it back towards Chris, but not close enough. Now Thuram, way on the left side this time. Vieira. Jose Roberto again with a great challenge. Now Kaká.
Kaká missed the overlapping Roberto that time. Roberto having words with him too. And that's the tactic you're playing. You've got to have a good reason not to play it.
Henry tried to go on his own, and Luizão just stood in the way.
And another significant factor there, Roberto blocked that ball into Zidane, who was drifting behind the front too. They're aware of how dangerous he is in there.
Pires. Header away by Luizão.
Game's just getting to an interesting period now. They've sized one another up, and there's just little areas where you can see things happening. Hasn't actually exploded into big chances yet, but you can see it may well do any second.
Here's Thuram. Once again, you can hear the cry of a Lele Bleu. Oh, Henry, so graceful. Desai. And his name was whistled when the teams were read out. I think there's a certain few issues between the French captain and the French public. Zidane. Oh, Zidane nearly got away that time. Cafu read it well. Defences and defensive midfielders certainly on top so far. Referees played an advantage. Chris got in ahead of Trezeguet.
Well watched by Chris. He just took one step forward, and if the ball had beaten him, Trezeguet could have been there, but he saw his mistake and take another step backwards and managed to sew it up with a dominant header.
No what play there from Ronaldinho. Now though, space for Pires. Only for a moment. Ronaldo. Now Ronaldinho. Oh, he's tried to play Cafu in. Is it just too strong? It is, but what an idea from Ronaldinho.
Well, he spotted the tactics they've been working on. They can clearly, their pattern of play has allowed for Cafu, as I've said before, and Ronaldinho, unlike Kaká, has gone and played it in there, and it's only about 2 feet too long.
Thuram. Here's Vieira. Now Zidane might open up. Blocked away by Luizão. Again, that defensive wall is there.
These two have done well. Luizão and Chris have done well in that central half position, because Cafu and Roberto Carlos have often been away from their side.
Henry gets away this time. Now, has he got options? Trezeguet tried to pull off in the centre. That looked like handball from Henry.
And again, Luizão does well to hold up Henry.
Zidane. Oh, tremendous play. Henry. Away by Chris. These two Brazilian central defenders are outstanding so far.
And they're maybe not the most popular names for those that know about the Brazilian team, but tonight, so far, they've been as good as any of their more illustrious teammates.
Luizão from Benfica and Chris from Cruzeiro. I'm not sure the fabric of these shirts agrees with Zinedine Zidane, does it? Unless someone threw a bottle of water over him before the game. They will change into, well, I was going to say the more traditional, but I suppose these are the more traditional. The changes to the more modern French shirts after half-time.
Edmilson drifting in behind the back two centre-halves now to get on the ball. First 20 minutes or so of the game, he was on it more often than anybody. I can't remember the last pass he made.
Chris. Now Kaká, as John suggested, coming deep to try and influence the game.
Roda, 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 roda. Hey, Ronaldo.
Sounds like Scottish instructions coming there from the bench.
Now Edmilson. Maybe Portuguese with a hint of Scottish, who knows? Remember Brazil beating Scotland here in the opening game of World Cup '98. Now it's a foul by Vieira.
Confident Luizão, and he's just gone too far, and fortunate to get the free kick. Is it Vieira who got the foot in there, and it's given against him?
Here's Roberto Carlos. Not too much in front of him. Ronaldinho was behind him, luckily. Juninho. Now Zé Roberto. It's good defending by Thuram. And they've given the throw into Brazil. Cafu. Well, sometimes great players can cancel each other out, and entertaining and fantastic individual skill though there's been, that's what's happening. Great coaches too. There's a flag against Cafu.
That's clever close play, but 1-2 there, but defence pushed up well. In fact, Boumsong and Desailly looking a decent partnership. I was a bit concerned about Desailly, and his form at Chelsea's not been the greatest, and to be a permanent fixture in this team I'm slightly surprised about, but he can still produce it.
Although in the previous friendly games they played this year, it has been Thuram and Desailly in the centre. That's the feeling that he'll go with that in the Euro, with Sagnol and Lizarazu as the fullbacks. I suppose his mind can still be changed, Santini, and if Boumsong plays this well against the world champions, well, Maybe it's Willy Sagnol's place that's under threat. And there's Silvestre as well, the Manchester United player, who prepares for the cup final and so doesn't play tonight. He's in the mix as well. And Gallas too in the centre. Not bad options, are they? Kaká. Ronaldo. Oh, it's a great switch to Roberto Carlos, who's quick enough to get there. And that was just sensational from Zidane, albeit defensively.
Have you ever seen anybody bringing down a cross defensively on their chest, turning and flipping it out the edge of the box? Unbelievable. But Ronaldo's quick and sharp to play the ball out to Roberto Carlos out here, and I'm looking at Ronaldo and thinking he's not looking the best, but he still has that burst.
He's still not bad, is he? Even though he might, maybe a few pounds overweight. He's also top scorer in Spain, so he must be doing something right. The standards we set these days sometimes are unattainable, aren't they? Now Thuram. Zé Roberto has been absolutely outstanding so far for Brazil. I think his style suits this system. Now Zidane. Here's Vieira. Is that welling of expectation every time they get near the goal? Zidane, who scored twice here on that World Cup night. This man Desai was sent off, and many people forget that. Not that it mattered. Thuram. Oh, lovely ball drifted deep. There was a bit of leaning in there by Henry. He's had a frustrating evening so far.
Yeah, that's the first orthodox cross that's come in from France there. Here's the chest down and turn and play out, and that's in the edge of his own box. You know, most lesser mortals would just be heading that one away.
Did you teach him that? Maybe not. I don't think anyone could teach him anything, although he always wants to learn. It was interesting with the women's game before this that he was watching it, I thought, more intently than anyone else. He always wants to learn about football and watch football. Bet you he couldn't walk past the park on a Sunday if there was a game going on. It's that love that comes through, it shines through in the way he plays. You wouldn't mind it if it was your park team, would you, when he joined it? Now Ronaldinho. Here's Roberto Carlos. Ronaldo, Kaká's there as well. Edmilson. Oh, he did very well to win that free kick. I think he might have just pushed it too far, but took the challenge from Thuram.
Yeah, definitely lost it, but Thuram's even put his elbow up there, and there was a definite clash and right decision. But there's Arsene Wenger getting a cheer from the crowd and spotted him. But the game in a real bright opening with the wide players, Cafu and Zuriberto causing problems, and then Zidane started to do it. But both these situations have been stamped on by each team, and there's less happening at the minute than at any time. Even the burst of Henry and Trezeguet causing problems for the two inexperienced centre-halves has really got handled pretty well in the end.
I think Roberto Carlos thought he was playing for Real Madrid there. He passed it to Zidane. Makalele, now Pires. Oh, he's tried to play an ambitious ball, but there's a flag anyway. Wouldn't have mattered. Gallas wasn't going to get there. Just thinking about Arsene Wenger, who we just saw in the crowd there. Must be wonderfully pleasant for him to sit in the ground and not really have any pressure for once, because normally when you see him in these, he's worried about injuries, he's worried about the next game, but at least he has, well, a summer to sit back and relax, although from what I've heard about him, he very rarely relaxes. He's rather like Zidane, watches every game of football he can.
Well, at least he's got a smile on his face. I haven't seen him in the dugout or close to the line with too many smiles this last few weeks.
Hey, when you've gone the whole season unbeaten, you can do what you want and you can afford a smile. A real gentleman, Arsene Wenger. Kaká. Oh, it was great skill to get it away to Roberto Carlos. First time for Ronaldo. So quick. And Juninho for Ronaldo.
Well done, Boomsong there, because even second phase, Juninho into Ronaldo. Boomsong had to stay close enough. But again, that wide situation that has cropped up from time to time has almost created something there for the Brazilians.
Oh. I think some of the French players there were just suggesting to the referee they might have to book someone, because there's a bit of persistent offending going on in that midfield. And although it's a friendly and you don't want anyone to get booked, you can't let it go on either if it spoils the game. You can understand the frustration. Nothing sinister, just a bit of frustration, and they want to be able to play. Last minute of the first half. It's absolutely flown by. I can't believe there'll be much stoppage time.
Well, that's when you know the game's good, isn't it? It's 0-0, but you think there's only 30 minutes gone. It's almost all over this half.
Oh, Boomsong's been penalised for that. He's a bit unlucky there.
Yeah, and there was a bit of that, all right. He was trying to get for the ball, and the bulk of Ronaldo was keeping him back.
Outstanding game so far, Boomsong. Cafu. Boomsong comes out of that great Auxerre academy. Giroud has been such a mentor for him, but he will be on his way to Glasgow Rangers. One minute, no surprise, the added time now. Can they do something in that minute? Swung across by Roberto Carlos. Brazil have had the better chances, the better openings, haven't they? It's been tight.
Yeah, they've had more of the ball going across there. Henry obviously had the clearest chance to score, but the way things have gone, they've got balls in from wide much better, the Brazilians. But the way that they're doing it, the only person who's likely to get on the end of it is Ronaldo. The other players are too much in the build-up to get it wide, to go and to be able to get in the box quick enough to get on the end of it.
Oh, Zidane does his special turn and loses possession. Edmilson. You can hear them singing the Marseillaise here up to half-time, the fans. I think it is going to be 0-0 at half-time. Just waiting for the whistle here, Juninho. Kaká. Oh, and Ronaldinho's offside. That must have been close.
It was. It could have been one of those when it was the Ronaldo that was actually off.
There's a half-time whistle from Manuel Majuto Gonzalez. I think the shake of the hand Ronaldo just gave him might indicate we won't see him in the second half, but a vastly entertaining half of football there. There's no 4, and yet he gets his debut here. But all he needs to do is impress, and who knows what might happen. Now Zidane. Can we pick up the pace of the first half straight away? First touch for Sylvain Wiltord. Header away by Cafu. Zidane again. Oh, it's a great ball from Zidane for Thierry Henry. Now Juninho. Strange shift into this second half. It's almost like we've gone into the modern age with the change of shirts. Makes quite a wholesale impression. Juninho pulled down. He was very clever there, Juninho. Powerful run, and the contact made by Makalele. Now, this is a free kick in a very dangerous position. You don't want to give away too many free kicks to Brazil in these kind of areas, because they have players who can hurt you. Everyone knows about Roberto Carlos. Now, isn't that a sight? A free kick in that position, and Juninho walks away from it. Probably the best free kick taker in France, but he's not as good as the rest of them. Ronaldinho and Roberto Carlos stand there as well.
Well, he's not got quite the power of persuasion in this team as he does at Lyon, but he is an expert at getting the ball up, over and down again.
What a choice to have. I think Ronaldinho might be favourite here. It's his kind of angle. He steps away though, and it's Roberto Carlos! Well, not the right direction, but it was fearsome power.
And it's low too, isn't it? And that's the hard one to do, is keep it low and give it power. But he's tried to slice it back round the wall, and he hasn't. He's caught it too flush on the middle of his foot, and it's gone straight ahead.
Strange, actually, with Roberto Carlos, for all the talk about his free kicks, and they're so impressive, he doesn't often score from them. But he has come up with the occasional game-changing one, particularly for Real Madrid. And everyone always remembers the one in France, in Le Tournoi, that bent from outside the goal and back in. Here's Gallas. He doesn't have different socks on from everyone else. He's wearing tape, rather like Boumsong is. Boumsong again, he can be delighted with his evening's work so far. And I'm not sure that that French back four is picked yet for the European Championship. There is a place maybe to play for if he's impressive enough, Boumsong.
Yeah, I think he's got the athleticism, and tonight he's really not done anything wrong. When I've seen him before, he can get himself a yard wrong in the box or positionally, but great recovery to get back round, and that's fine until you're playing against the best opposition in the world. But he is here and doing fine.
And on cue, he almost trod on the ball. And he recovered well. It's funny how the publicity was always about Philippe Mexes, his Auxerre teammate. But Boumsong just seems to have taken the edge on him. Mexes is probably better with the ball, a Laurent Blanc kind of player, but Boumsong is more in the Desailly mould, stronger and certainly a better defender than Mexes.
Yeah, Mexes is inclined to play offside all times, and Boumsong does push up, but he does have the pace to go and run in the channels and defend orthodoxly.
Mexes is still a terrific player. Now Gallas. Juninho.
Alex has come in there and replaced Kaká, and he's just playing in that role, possibly sharing it a little bit more with Ronaldinho, but he drifted up into a front three, so he's not such a exquisite ball player and touch and possession player, Alex, more of a runner and getting up there, so that may be the slight change in the tactics of the second half.
Here's Mendy. Big cheer from the Parisian crowd for the Paris Saint-Germain player. A lot of PSG shirts I noticed outside this stadium earlier on. There'll be plenty more of them next Saturday for the cup final against Châteauroux. And Mendy's first touch in international football is to win a corner.
Well, he'll get up and down that right side, and he actually might take on Roberto Carlos a bit more earlier.
Swung by Zidane. There's a special thing about corners here when you think of this game, because remember Zidane's goals in the World Cup final? Both headers, both from wide positions.
Yeah, it is amazing. Such a good, talented player who can do anything with the ball on the deck, goes and wins the World Cup with his head, but he is good in the air.
It's going to be funny when you, years to come, tell your children about this player called Zidane. And the video footage they'll always see of him will be both scoring with near-post headers in a World Cup final. Juninho.
There's that tactic with Cafu bombing down the right and Ed Milson just coming in there, drifting into the right-back slot just in case Henry gets a quick ball on the break. So they're really tactically aware of the problems. They're not just gone out there to play. They have been prepared, this Brazilian team, which is the magic of them. Skillful and talented, but well prepared.
Trying to pass their way currently around Patrick Vieira. Now Alex. Ronaldinho just dropping off, Roberto Carlos running into space. Beautifully done for Edu! That was Brazilian pace and power and movement.
First contribution from Edu, really replacing Zilberto, and he's caught it perfectly. It's under the bar, but again, it's wider than we thought at first. He has pulled it. In fact, it's a corner. It's nicked off Thuram there.
I think we'll forgive Senor Mahuto Gonzalez that one. It was a hard nick to see. What a season he's had for Arsenal, Aidan.
Well, what he's done, he's come in and stamped his authority in that central midfield place. He's probably ousted Gilberto in there, and he will never oust Vieira in the near future, that's for sure. But he's proved himself to be the main man rather than just a backup.
Gilberto Silva, the other Arsenal midfielder who sits on the bench tonight. Now Mendy. He's not short of confidence, Bernard Mendy. Vieira. Henry. Still going, Henry.
Not like him, just didn't quite get his angles right there. He looked like he knew what he was doing, but he's let the pass go quite wildly in the end.
Now we saw that chest control from Zidane in the first half. That from Ronaldinho was extraordinary. Similar thing. Cafu. Juninho. Just sense they're getting closer here.
Yeah, still not a lot in it, but Brazil definitely not out of it. They've got at least 50%, if not more. Looking slightly the more smooth operating team. There's bursts of the French play, but the front of Trezeguet and Henry hardly in the game at all. So they're relying on Vieira, who's getting in the game more, and Zidane.
Forward by Wiltor. Some feel he's lucky to have his place in Euro 2004, but he's a player that Jacques Santini trusts, and he's also a player who's never let down his national side. He's had injury problems this season with Arsenal. Ronaldinho. Waiting for the pass, and now he finds it for Ronaldo, and that's unlike Ronaldinho.
What a chance to play Ronaldo in. He drew the defence across to the other side by the burst from Alex, and Ronaldinho dummied well, but then his pass to Ronaldo was 5 yards too long when he could have laid him in for a great strike at goal.
Here's Ronaldinho. Ducks one in again to the penalty area. Headed away by David Trezeguet. Juninho. Juninho with a shot, battered away by his Lyon teammate Coupe.
Well, he knows better than try and hold these when they're swerving around, and he's kept it out of the net, which is the main thing.
You see them too often in training, I think. The last thing he wants to do is let one in the Stade de France.
But yeah, definitely edge Brazil, 60-40 at this moment in time. They've changed it in the half-time, but it hasn't really altered their smoothness, where France just cannot get building up much over the halfway line. They've got bits of possession around, out into full-back areas, but the next pass is not just quite as precise as it needs to be.
Boumsong. Now Henry. Zidane. Drops it into Wiltor. Somehow finds its way through to Wiltor. Deep from Zidane for Henry. Good response that from France. Now Cafu. Foul on Ronaldinho.
It's clever how Ronaldinho knew the challenge was coming in, got his body between the ball and the oncoming Boumsong, and clearly the challenge was never going to touch the ball, and he's managed to get a free kick from it.
One back by Zidane. And he was just fouled by Ronaldinho.
A lot of play also coming off Trezeguet. I do think he's a great finisher, but they need to get him away from the ball. He's getting involved in the build-up more than you would like. Leave that to Henry and get back in the box, and things are falling off him.
Cross it in towards Henry. Oh, good claim. Good brave claim by Dida.
He's caught Cafu at the back post there.
It's Cafu who's down injured. Similar position to the one we saw Swedish women's goalkeeper Caroline Jönsson earlier on tonight. She had to go off the field. We hope the same fate doesn't befall Brazil's captain. Sees in some pain there.
His ribs, and when he got caught immediately, he didn't look like it had done much damage, but it's just come on.
see Benoit Pedretti warming up behind the Brazil goal over on that left-hand side. Player who, quite supremely, I thought, came to the Stade de France earlier on this season and won the League Cup with Sochaux, having personally accepted responsibility for them losing it to Monaco last season. He blamed himself and swore that he would make it right. And I think to see him lifting the League Cup was just one of the sweetest moments of the season. Player who's brave enough to accept responsibility and then good enough to dominate the final next time round. Looks like he is on his way to Lyon next season, and he'll be quite an acquisition. Be quite a good midfield, Pedretti and Juninho.
Well, there's Vieira trying to get close to Edmilson, that position we talked about earlier on, and he obviously has been chatting with Santini and decided to go and get a bit closer and push our midfield up a bit and stop him dictating the play, but he hasn't really halted the possession supremacy that Brazil have got.
Cafu's okay now. Here's Juninho. This is Alex, seen plenty of the ball since he came on. Juninho looking to flick it towards Alex, now Ronaldo. Zidane. Oh, that's good defending from Big Luizao. Thought for a minute Coupe had misjudged that bounce. He did well enough.
He knew he was good in the air, but thought that was with using his hands.
Multi-skilled, multi-talented Gregory Coupe. Now Makalele. Mendy. Is he brave enough to take on Roberto Carlos for pace? What a debut. Playing against one of the best left-back in the world. Gallas. It's fascinating the space Gallas had, but I think the Brazilians mind him being in the space. It's Zidane and Henry they want to avoid. Juninho. Well, look at this for a run from Juninho. And what about that for a challenge by Thuram?
Great carry by Juninho, but it looked like the pass was going to beat Thuram, but he didn't go to tackle the ball. He went to intercept the flicked pass and just got it perfect.
Philippe Mexes just having a stretch. Michael Lantreau, the captain of Nantes, and Pires came off at half-time, placed by Wiltor.
Thuram at centre-half is something that we know that he likes, but hasn't played that often for France. So far, he's slotted in pretty well.
Now here goes Zidane. Just closed down before he could get a shot away or pick out a pass. Ronaldinho working to try and win the ball back there, as is Alex, and he's done so. Don't think that ball was intended for Ronaldo from Ronaldinho. Gallas. Now Mendy. Here's Wiltor. This is where they look so fluid, France, interchanging positions like this. All comfortable coming inside and going out wide. Fullbacks going forward. Midfielders dropping back in to help. It's a real blue fluidity about them. Here's Mendy, he's proving that. Well, it's given a free kick for the challenge by Mendy.
Well, he's so keen to impress. He's gone in there and he's caught Edmilson. It's a tight situation here. Now that's the dribbling there and the skills of Zidane we're seeing.
And that little touch from Cafu, which was really quite special. Still down, Edmilson. Lyon still have that home match against Lille to come on Sunday. The title celebration. He won't want to miss that, but looks a bit shaky there. I think it's one he can walk off, though.
I think that's what it was. Got a knee possibly in the thigh here. Oh, it's not, it's a foot injury stood on, unless it was the second leg a bit later.
Painful, whichever way. Well, it's unthinkable at the start that this game could finish 0-0, but it's 28 minutes away from doing so.
No, we really haven't had a chance this half. It's been mainly Brazil, but no real openings within 18 yards, a couple of long-range efforts, but even they've not troubled the keeper.
Are we going to get a winner, I wonder? Mendy. Vieira. Now Mendy. There's Thuram. Now the pace of Mendy, and he strolled past Roberto Carlos. This is Bernard Mendy, and surely now he's put it wide. Wiltord has put it wide. Would you believe it from the penalty spot? What a chance, but what a run from Bernard Mendy on his debut. That's fantastic to see. He left Roberto Carlos for dead there.
Explosive speed, and he is off. And we know that Roberto Carlos is no slow coach, and he also pulls it back brilliantly. But it's just slipped that little bit past Wiltord. Maybe not played enough games to go and be absolutely precise and good enough in that situation. Almost in, but the best chance so far of the half. In fact, probably of the game.
I'm sure there's a coach sitting somewhere in Paris who's worked very hard with Mendy, feeling very proud at the moment. Valid Halilhodžić, the coach of Paris Saint-Germain, who really restarted Mendy's career after he'd been on loan at Bolton. He'll have a little smile and say, that's my boy. And he'll want him to do it again in the cup final next weekend. Now Roberto Carlos, who won't have enjoyed that, I wouldn't have thought. But so much of international football is about temperament as well as ability. And Mendy's just shown that he's got the temperament. He wasn't scared by Roberto Carlos.
I think he lined him up once earlier and turned away from it, but that time he got himself in the corner, had to do it, and did he?
Here's Alex. Oh, he just kept it in play. Now Juninho, lovely ball curled in, but too close to Coupe. Zidane.
Just didn't quite land it there, Zidane, for Henry. But what about the pace there of the centre-half, Luisao? What pace he has as well.
Juninho. Now Roberto Carlos. Here's Ronaldo. Edmilson. Juninho. Forward by Alex, and now Ronaldinho. Nice touch from Roberto Carlos! So nearly the opening goal.
And he's got that character you're talking about. He's just got to run down one end, but gets himself up into the box at the other and comes the closest anybody has. Inside of the post, quick shot, caught Coupe's on his line, no way he could move. It was unexpected, and that's a left back. He has got the class to go and do things like that.
Coupe had given up for sure. I think he thought it was in, judging from the look on his face. Alex with the corner now, the game just hotting up here. And Santini prepares to make a change. Olivier Capo is going to come on. The Auxerre player. There's a shot drilled in from Ronaldinho. Well saved by Coupe. Zidane. A bit more space now as maybe the odd leg starts to tire. Ronaldinho. One would guess cap over Trezeguet maybe.
Ronaldinho really did catch that well.
Henry. Oh, flag against Trezeguet. He hasn't seen it, he's put it wide. I think he might be quite relieved to see the flag now. It's a good save by Dida, who didn't know.
Well, there's been a shortage of balls going in between the back line and the keeper. It's been so hard to do. Defences have been so vigilant in that area, and the keeper's lively, and we've just seen 2 instances where it's almost happened there, but just an inch or 2 off.
It is Zidane who's going to go off, of course. He's got that game with Real Madrid to come at the weekend. He's played for long enough, 3/4 of the game.
Yeah, and he's been quiet, just gave the ball away there in his own final third, and that's caused it to come off. Not his very best, but still enough to please this crowd.
They love him here. He is the icon of French football and is replaced by Olivier Capo, who's got a great goal-scoring record internationally. 3 goals in 8 starts. 8 caps, rather.
And he is one of the quickest. When he opens his legs, nobody will catch him. They got Mendy one side, Capo on the other.
Capo, who's going to move to Serie A in the summer, to Juve. It's a shame for Auxerre. Boumsong's going to Rangers, Cissé to Liverpool. Can't believe Mexes will stay with all of that going on around him. But Giroud is canny enough, and I'm sure he's got some more lined up. The production line of that academy never ceases to amaze, but this has been a particularly good vintage. Roberto Carlos. Now Alex. Here's Ronaldo. Oh, lovely ball from Alex.
These passes have got to be just inch perfect. There's nothing there. Look, nothing to thread it through to. And Ronaldo has got half a chance. He hasn't caught it right. You would expect, with that opening right in his stride, that he would either have guided it close into the corner or enough pace to go shooting it past the legs of Coupe, but he didn't quite catch it right. Went for power.
When you looked at the French defenders bunched in there, there didn't seem to be any space, but somehow there was, and Ronaldo couldn't take advantage. Now Makelele, his former Real Madrid teammate. Mendy. Capo is another, by the way, who will not be going to Euro 2004. Clever ball to Henry. And then powered over by Wiltor, who I think is still feeling that miss from earlier on.
Well, it has opened up here, and 1 or 2 chances at either end. But what we've got to remember, the class on that pitch, and the way to move the ball, for you to be even to be a substitute coming to this, is a great ability that is required to go and play in this cauldron against class players and with class players.
Yeah, the standard is remarkably high.
And the technical ability is good, but the positional play and where to go and where to move and how to get on the ball is even more outstanding. The understanding of the game and what's the right thing to do when.
I know that so many coaches sit there and say that they need to hammer home points to players over and over, don't they? But when you get to players at this level, you just don't need to do that. As you say, the footballing intelligence is just extraordinary. Edu has proved that with Arsenal this season. Now Roberto Carlos. And allied, of course, to all that intelligence is just a phenomenal natural ability as well. Juninho. Little ball out to Cafu. Might have been no goals as yet in this FIFA Centenary match, but we have had an evening to remember. Goodness me.
Oh, what a dummy from Capu, just let it run. He's lost it now.
Alex. Juninho. Now Edu. Here's Roberto Carlos. Edu. Might just run for Ronaldo. He's had 2 or 3 decent chances that on a good day you might have expected him to score from.
His touch is good, his little flicks off and distribution is good, but when he's come to that final shot, he sliced one with his left, didn't catch that last one with his left, and then slashed that one over the bar with his right. So touch is good, but that final bit that we think he is such an outstanding player, that hasn't quite been there.
Hamish Ake watching on. I'm sure this brings back memories. Only 3 of the Brazilian starting lineup played in that World Cup final. The 2 fullbacks and Ronaldo. And for France, same, 3 of the starting lineup and 1 sub. Vieira being the sub. Desailly and Zidane and Thuram being the 3 outfield players. Crowd trying to sing France to a goal here now. Juninho. Cafu. Have a Copa America to come in the summer. Here's Ronaldo. And still Ronaldo. I think he tried to control that with the arm as it went through.
But that piece of skill and shielding of the ball, he has got to be probably the best shield of the ball now against centre-halves that there is, and maybe ever has been. He lets the ball come into him and takes that challenge and still moves it around and distributes it from there.
Now Mendy. Look at Roberto Carlos backtracking, backpedaling against it. Edu. Now Ronaldinho. Nice interplay. Still not a great deal of space for Ronaldinho. But he's won a free kick.
Still more organisational pattern from the Brazilians than the French. A little bit disjointed, got a couple of wide players now, and Makelele and Vieira having a real tough time handling the Ronaldinho, Juninho, Edmilson, Alex scenario that they've got to face in there.
Now this is more central, and it's further out than the previous one. It's not far off the Tournois kind of range for Roberto Carlos, the one he bent so dramatically from outside the post. Juninho can hit them as well. It's going to be Juninho. Not one of his best. It's a long way out, that.
Not his Lyon form there, but it shows you the confidence. If you're an up-and-comer trying for your place, as opposed to the top man, and the certainty in a team gives you much more relaxed to go and do some of the skills that you know you're capable of.
See Pereira just prowling round his technical area.
Well, he's not come here to open it up and make it a game of loads of goals. He come here to put a real good, solid team performance on, keep possession, try and make chances, to open the gate at the other end. He has played this as professionally as you can.
Cafu. Away by Luizao. Now Alex. Very tidy player, Alex. Very able replacement for Kaká, without perhaps the inspiration, but carries the ball well. Ronaldo. Now there's space. Now here's Capo's pace. But he had to get through Luizao. He's done very well to keep possession, Capo, and he's been wrestled down by the big centre-back.
Yeah, Luizao won a great challenge, but the ball broke for Capu, and eventually the free kick was right enough. And the way that now that the Brazilians are really having a go at this, that positional play of Vieira and Makalele is coming into being, and then we can maybe see France doing it on the break, and that was Capu's pace almost paying off.
Wayward pass, and doesn't it show how high the standard has been that a wayward pass is almost booed? It's been exceptional. I'd love to see the statistics of passes to feet and accuracy be in the high 80s or 90s even.
Absolutely. The tempo's been high-ish, but probably if either team had just buzzed it up a little bit, that would have given them the ascendancy.
There's still time, although it is starting to run out. Edu. Ronaldinho, great. Oh, great idea. And Makalele it was who got back. Good reading of the game. Here goes Thuram. Just looks so elegant on the ball, Thuram. You'd never guess he was a defender when you saw him in possession. Trezeguet. Is he going to get a goal to celebrate his 50th cap, I wonder? Gallas. Here's Capo. Beautifully done by Edu. For Alex. For Ronaldo, who's going to have to motor here. And he's up against Mendy, and that's quite a race.
He's got his body in, but he does have a burst there, Ronaldo. He's come to life more this half.
Yeah, I'd fancy Mendy over 50 yards, but I think over 10. Ronaldo might just edged him there. Ed Nielsen. He's had a super game, spraying those passes around. Cafu just keeps that one in. Picked out the cross for Ronaldinho with the head of all people. A bit of a smile from him there. That would have been something, wouldn't it?
I don't think he expected to get it, but he got off the deck pretty well. Boom Song just got beaten by the flight, and Thuram just didn't tuck in enough to compete against Ronaldinho.
That would be almost as strange as Zidane scoring with his head in the World Cup final. Well, he's had a super game, Juninho. He's certainly done his cause in the national side, no harm. And Julio Baptista from Sevilla is the player who replaces him. Just thought we might see Jacques Santini give Peggy Loyendula or Sidney Govou a run out for the last 10 minutes or so. We might, yeah.
Yeah, these two have been unimpressive compared with what we're used to with Trezeguet and Henry, and yeah, just a brightening up there just might put these two really maybe unknown centre-backs under a bit of pressure, because they've really been so superb.
Wiltor. Prod for Trezeguet. Now Mendy. Makalele, of all people, trying to wriggle away from a challenge. Pulled down by Edu.
He's pulled him back. I mean, he doesn't want to go out there and be taken a loan of, and it's a big game for him to establish himself.
Capo is going across to take the free kick. He does have that left foot, of course, which will give the better angle. Last 10 minutes of the game. Is it going to finish goalless? Drifted in by Capo. Oh, good call from Dida. Well, we've only got 10 minutes to find a winner, John, and must admit, with the talent on view, I never guessed it would be 0-0.
No, and clearly the Brazil have got the most joy out of this game so far, and looking at Henry, there's signs there that this English Premiership season's just been a bit too long for him, and he's lost his bit of zip. Now, I know this isn't the biggest game of all time, but most of the players are looking quite sharp, but he's just looking a little bit more jaded.
Here's Baptista. Corner. Yeah, the question with Henry is, has he got time to recover? He has. They've got training sessions at Clairefontaine and a couple of other games as well. I think if Centenary manages it right, he's got long enough, Henry.
Well, if he's given him trying to recover, which seems good sense to me, why is he still on after 81 minutes in this match? If he's just trying to get him to come back and build his strength up.
Corner played in, and it was a great header away. It was Capo back there who flicked it clear. Now Roberto Carlos. Ronaldinho. Gallas battling hard, but won back by Ronaldinho. See how he's matured, Ronaldinho. He looks like he's the boss man out there now. Whereas when he was coming into the side, I suppose he was rather like Kaká is now. On the fringes a bit more. Julio Baptista. Goal kick.
Gallas is not the man to try and beat in a pace or trickery. He watches the ball superbly, and that's what he wants to do, defend.
He's an outstanding defensive player, William Gallas. At the very least, he's a highly effective squad player. Mendy. Good claim by Dida. Flick on by Ronaldinho. That's twice now he's won aerial balls. Capo. Only really Trezeguet to aim at. Deflected in. Ronaldinho. Now Ed Milson. Just a delicious pass from one side of the field to the other to Roberto Carlos. He must be one of the best passers of the ball in the game, Ed Milson.
Short, long, very seldom misplaces it. And for me, I'm so impressed with him at the back, but for him to come in the midfield and not look out of his depth at all is another big plus for this Brazilian squad. In fact, the tactics of the way that they've done it, they've stuck to it, keeping him in there and in and around the area that they think that France have got the biggest danger.
Henry nicked it away, and they just managed to defend it, although it's gone out of play. Well, the assistant says it hasn't, but Dida has kept it in.
It just happened too quick for the assistant. He couldn't catch up, and he was on the wrong side of the pitch. There's no way he could make a decision to say that was out.
And Henry's furious. He's battling right to the end, Thierry Henry. It means a lot to him. Well, we're all human. Well, I've got to say, with the naked eye, it looked as if that ball was out. Julio Baptista. 5 minutes to go at the Stade de France. 5 minutes to find a goal. 3-2 earlier on to the FIFA Women's Star 11 against Germany. A fine game. Thought there might be more goals in this, but so far none. Here's Ronaldinho. Boomsong. Now Capo, his Auxerre teammate. Here's Vieira. Now Bernard Mendy. Just ran into the challenge rather. A great charge forward here though. Got the ball. Senor Majuto Gonzalez was well placed. It was Makaleli who'd run forward.
Hardly been over the halfway line, Makaleli, but a little trick and took him at the edge of the box and just went one step too far.
Well, we've had Roberto Carlos hitting the post and Sylvain Wiltor missing a sitter in this second half. Oh, now Ronaldinho. This is Julio Baptista. Coupe got a strong hand onto it. Brazil is still coming for the win.
Well, it'd be difficult to beat Coupe from there, but Baptista had to do it that way, and it needed power. When you're at that angle with this class of keeper, it needs to be the speed of the ball that beats you. He tried it, got a corner, probably couldn't expect to have got much more.
There's the run from Makelele. Looked a good decision from Emilson's challenge.
A bit disappointed, Henry, Zidane, not at their best. If this is indicative of how they're going to be, I think my thoughts on who's going to win it just might slip away from France, although I'm a great admirer of them.
Well, they'll certainly be in the list of could win it. Maybe just not as hot a favourite as people think. Taken quickly by Ronaldinho for Alex. Cleverly angled ball by Roberto Carlos. Too strong. And we approach injury time, still with no goals. Just 2 minutes to find one here. It's amazing. And you can sense the frustration from the fans. There is going to be a firework display, so never fear. Some kind of fireworks, albeit not footballing ones, in front of goal. Maybe there's still time.
Well, he's got himself going on Lee now. He's got the ball a couple of times deeper and run really hard at that defence. So maybe he is lively enough, it just hasn't got the ball to him. And he's got caught quite badly and quite blatantly by Chris.
There will be some confetti fired over the stadium, by the way, at the end of this game. And each piece of confetti will have commemorative inscription on it for people to grab and take home as a souvenir. Will they remember a game with a goal or not? There isn't too much time left. Ball swung in. He's much better than that, Dida, to be caught out by a ball like that. There's only a minute to go. I know you're going to race off, John, to get a piece of confetti, aren't you, when it explodes?
Well, it's great to be here on such a big occasion. Top two teams in the world, 100th anniversary of FIFA, and the game's not produced goals, but it has been an array of talent, good possession, good decision-making, skill in receiving and passing of the ball.
Well, in both men's and women's, we've seen about, I would guess, including substitutes, about 55 players. We've seen most of the best in the world in both disciplines. It's been an absolute treat. There's the final whistle from Manuel Mejuto Gonzalez. A few murmurs of discontent around the Stade de France, but I think you have to look at the quality of the game and not so much the scoreline. It's disappointing we've not had a goal with so many players out there, but it was very good tactical organisation from Brazil, and France couldn't break it down. And we mentioned the blueprint. Do you think we maybe see one there?
Well, I think there was something there without a doubt, but I think it depended on so much the pace and the good defensive play of the two centre-backs of Brazil, Luisa and Chris, and that Ed Milson position did come into play, and it gave them a lot of possession.